Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So we got some WWE 2K26 roster leaks for AAA wrestling stars and TNA wrestling stars. Now these are rumors, but this comes from Sean Ross Sapp. But the website of the information I found it on is known as Khel Now. Khel Now. Never heard of this website. It's a gaming website. But let's go over this. Let's go to this website and let's look at this information because this sounds awesome. Alright, here we are over on KheelNow.com, and it says WWE 2K26 roster leaks, AAA stars, TNA DLC rumors, and more details. Now as we scroll down here, it says the game is expected to be released in Q4 fiscal year 2026. Wrestling fans and gamers are now excited for the WWE 2K26 game, which is scheduled to be released by Q4 fiscal year 2026, drop pre-March 31st. I know everybody was like, there were some outlets posting, oh, it's not going to come out till October or September or November. It's like, no, fiscal year. You got to look at the fiscal part because that ends for them March 31st. And I even made a video on it. So yeah, explaining the whole thing. Recently, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select via 411 Mania revealed that AAA stars have a significant chance of joining the player roster. Let's check out more details in this article. And it says down here, game rumors. AAA stars are likely to join WWE 2K26 roster for the first time, with top talents like Mr. Iguana, El Hijo del Viking, or Vikingo expected. TNA additions are trickier due to partnership limits. That makes sense. But some WWE linked names may appear as DLC. And they break it down right here, what the article said. It says, according to Sean Ross Sapp, regarding AAA stars in WWE 2K26, major AAA stars, venues, the venues too, and titles, getting the championships would be really fun, might be added in WWE 2K26. Mr. Iguana, Psycho Clown, El Hijo del Vikingo, I probably butchered that, etc. are some of the wrestlers that may be added to the game. WWE is now the parent company of CMLL competitor, so it won't be surprising to see the major wrestlers joining the game's roster or as a DLC pack in the future. TNA wrestlers joining WWE 2K26. Now, WWE and TNA only have mutual partnership. So there is pretty low chance that we might get TNA wrestlers in the game and probably championships and venues. That would be awesome though. If someone is to join the game, then it would probably be Jeff and Matt Hardy due to their history with WWE. I want their old theme back. That'd be fun to have in the game. Meanwhile, Joe Henry has the highest possibility of joining the WWE 2K26 roster. This is because he is now officially contracted full-time under WWE. Either he may join from the start or might arrive in DLC. They're definitely going to save him for DLC. So, conclusion, having both AAA and TNA stars in the game would be amazing. Fans and players will have more choices to pick wrestling and create their own storyline in the game. The game is currently scheduled for Q4, blah, blah, blah. We already know that. All right, let's go over to the website, AAA's website, and let's look at the potential stars that we could get in 2K26 from AAA. Alright, here we are over on the SmackDown Hotel, and here are all the roster members that we could potentially get as either DLC or just added to the base game, because there's a lot. There's 69 wrestlers. WWE owns this company, so they could literally use all these wrestlers in the game. Some of these are already in the game because they're WWE wrestlers. They're just counted on both shows. So let's go through this. And full disclosure, I'm going to probably butcher these names, so I apologize in advance. If you're easily triggered, just leave now. Anyway, so before we get started, as we go through these, imagine the creation parts we could get. I just hope they don't lock it out to whatever the island mode is called next year, or just my faction stuff. I mean, I'm worried that because of how the creation suite and the creation parts are set up in 2K25, where a bunch of them are locked to the island, I hope they don't do that with all these parts in the next game. I hope that some of these are available right off the bat. I hope you can unlock some of them in My Rise. I hope you can get them with the DLC because they're obviously going to be in season passes. I just hope they don't take a bunch of this stuff and lock it to the island mode. That would suck. Anyway, let's get started. First up is Abismo. Look at this. Oh, that's going to be super cool. Creation parts here. El Delicious, Aerostar, Aldo, Andy, Panda Jr. That'd be fun to get. Angel, Bel Segor, that'd be super cool to get, the mask for Creation Suite. Berto, Black, Chavo Guerrero. Sweet Chavo's in it. Chelsea Green. Never heard of her. Wink, wink. Chessman. Chick Tormenta. Chuy Martinez. Cerbonetico. Colmilo de Plata. Corey Graves. Never seen him before either. He must be new. Haha. Wink, wink again. Just in case you don't get a joke. Cruz del Toro. Dollies. Dave the Clown. Now that would be super cool creation parts to get. I really hope we get some of the stuff. I just really hope they don't lock it out to the island mode or whatever it's called next year. Well, I wonder if they'll even have it come back. They probably made a ton of money. I'm guessing it's coming back. Dynamico. DMT Azul, another cool mask. Dominic Mysterio. He must be a new wrestler. I've never heard of him either. Dragon Lee. Dils Canella. El Fiscal. That's a cool mask and everything. El Grande Americano. El Hijo D. Jr. Wagner Jr. That'd be a cool mask to get. I think that mask is already in it on the island. I'll have to go look again. El Hijo del Tyrantis. El Hijo del Vikingo. El Mesias Jr. That's a cool mask. Ethan Page. Another wrestler I've never heard of. Haha. Fabi Apache Flamer. That's a cool mask. Forastero. Galeno del Mal. Gara del Oro. For a minute there I thought it said Oreo. That's funny. That's a cool helmet. Or luchador mask. That's awesome. Hysteria. That's a cool mask. Hugo. Jeremy. Jesse Queen. We can go down further. We got Jesus. Wild. John Bradshaw Layfield. Old Man Layfield. Kento. Conan. La Hydra. That's a cool mask. La Parca. Well, that's cool. I didn't know he was in this company. Lady Maravilla. That's a cool mask. Hopefully, see, the one thing that annoys me is the masks. Back in the old days, the hair would go through it. So you could put a mask on or a luchador mask and the hair would come out and it would look really cool. There needs to be a toggle in 2K26 to where you can toggle your hair to come out of it or it blocks the hair. That just needs to be a feature going forward because I would probably have a lucha mask for my Strizer character if his mohawk would pop through because a lot of the stuff blocks the mohawk and I'm like, man, I want the mohawk to come through. Or just have a lucha mask with a huge mohawk on it, kind of like Rey Mysterio did for a little bit. It wasn't a huge mohawk, but it was kind of like a fuzz thing on his head and it looked really cool. So something like that. Lady Shani, Loreto Kid, Lince Dorado, Lola Vice, Mascarita Sagrada. Oh, now another cool thing they could do, sorry I keep stopping here, is add a new weight class. Like, I'm not going to say the M word because people get offended easily, but, the little person. How cool would it be if we have little person wrestling, like a whole nother division in the game? That'd be kind of fun. Like a smaller ring and everything. That'd be awesome, don't you think? Mecha Wolf, Monster Clown, Mr. Iguana, another cool creation parts. Murder Clown, a lot of clowns in AAA wrestling. Mizetizes Jr. Obviously butchered that. Nino. Is that Hamburgusia? Hamburger. Octagon Jr. That's cool. Omos. He'll be like 10 feet tall compared to the rest of these guys. Pagano. Look at these cool face paints and masks. This is awesome. Panic Clown. Psycho Clown. Now that is probably the coolest mask here. It's because he has a big mohawk and everything. Having Psycho Clown in the game would be really cool. Sanson. Taurus would be awesome with his awesome Taurus gear. I always try to make my main villain look like a Minotaur every year, but it doesn't usually work out the way I want to. Having an actual Minotaur mask would be very helpful and really cool, assuming we can customize it. And then last on the list is Vampiro. So here are all the wrestlers that they could choose from currently to add as DLC or just to the base roster. There's a lot here, a lot of good ones here, so that would be really cool. Who are the champions right now? I'm curious. Dominic Mysterio is the Mega Champion. El Hijo is the AAA Latin American Championship. And that's another thing, we're going to get these titles in here too. Wow, their women's title looks awesome. I mean, they all look awesome. I like how the tag belts are two different colors. I think that's cool. Oh wait, that's a mixed tag. That's awesome. Never mind. That's even better. And this will work now too. So yeah, this is definitely going to be in the game. So another cool thing they could do with the inclusion of AAA wrestling and TNA wrestlers is they could have a huge part of the storyline be AAA wrestling. Like you start in AAA wrestling, you could go to WWE, You can go to NXT. Another cool thing is My GM. They could put a whole new roster to play as in My GM with the new titles and everything. So right now I think it has WCW, NXT, SmackDown, Raw. It'd be cool to add in AAA Wrestling as another show option. That'd be awesome, because then you'd have access to all their titles and everything. Another cool thing would be to, when you make your universe mode and they have those little animations in between matches and stuff, maybe they'll add in the AAA animations in between matches and stuff, so you can make your AAA show in your universe mode. That'd be super cool if it's not in there by default. There's just so many cool things you can do with it. If you're a big fan of My Faction, I mean, obviously I'm not. I didn't even touch the mode this year. They're going to have a ton of new My Faction cards, or potential My Faction cards. That'll be super awesome. And of course, the championships will all be in the game for exhibition and story modes, probably, and universe mode. So there's the possibilities are out the wazoo when it comes to AAA wrestling. Now, TNA wrestling, like they said, is, since it's contracted, I don't think we're going to get any of the championships or venues in there. If we do get some of the wrestlers, like they said, it'll probably be like ones that used to work for WWE. It makes sense. Anyway, so what do you think of this? I think this is awesome. I got to start watching AAA wrestling. I think I watched like the first two when WWE bought them, and I watched a couple of them a long time ago, but I haven't really been keeping up with everything because there's just so much to do and so much to watch. There's a lot of stuff. Anyway, once again, sound off comments below. What do you think of this? Thank you for watching, and as always, stay frosty.
Arena. Oh, and a right hand for good measure. Here's the pump handle. Suplex. Launched. And she heads out to the floor. Obviously was in need of a breather. Place against the turnbuckles.